I would say when it comes to replacing jobs, more so it's taking the entry-level jobs. Bringing AI into the workforce is a priority because it will help them transform the education within their organization.
So how do you think, how different is it right now, the tech boom and the time when it was like the early 20s? What is the difference?
I would say intensity was a lot higher before COVID. I think a lot of people have taken a step back now and the work-life balance is more important.
How do you see the women workforce, women leadership in technology? Tech On Air'in yepyeni bir bölümüne hepiniz hoş geldiniz. Ben Zehra.
Ben Çiçek.
Başlamadan önce Tech On Air'in destekçisi, sponsoru, küresel ölçekte yerli kripto varlık platformu Binance TR'ye çok teşekkür ediyoruz. Evet, bugün programımızda Silikon Vadisi'nin en parlak beyinlerinden bir kişiyi ağırlayacağız. Ben kendisiyle Teknolojide Kadın Derneği'nin değerli bir üyesi olan Sovos'la birlikte konuğumuza özel yapmış olduğumuz bir yemekte tanıştım. Çok etkilendim ve dedim ki sizlerle de tanıştırmalıyız diye düşündük birlikte ve kendisini davet ettik. 25 yıllık bir iş deneyimi var kendisinin. Özellikle teknoloji çağını çok iyi yakalamış. Teknoloji şirketlerinde ya da teknolojiye odaklı ya da teknoloji kullanan şirketlerde çok önemli pozisyonlarda çalışıyor kendisi ve önemli sorumluluklar alarak çığır açan değişimlere imza atan bir lider. Aynı zamanda da beni en çok etkileyen taraf bu kadar yoğun bir işin içerisinde aile, özel hayat ve iş dengesini çok iyi sağlamış. Ödülleri var. Bunlardan size biraz da notuma bakarak paylaşmak istiyorum. Silicon Valley Woman of Influence unvanına layık görülmüş ve aynı zamanda CIO Views'un prestijli takip edilecek 10 kadın listesinde yer almış. San Francisco'da yaşıyor. Evli ve 3 oğlu var. Yani bütün bunların içerisinde de inanılmaz pozitif bir enerjisi var kendisinin. Evet, sevgili Alice Katvan bizimle beraber, Sovos President of Revenue. Welcome Alice. Welcome to Tech On Air.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here with you both today.
So first of all, I want to talk about Sovos. What is Sovos and what does it do right now?
So Sovos is a tax compliance platform. We're a global platform. We offer services to all companies, including multinationals that do business globally, to ensure that they're compliant with their tax obligations. We also have different services on our platform for different countries that require additional services. For example, in Latin America, we have trust services. In the US, we have crypto services and more 1099. So we offer a full end-to-end global platform for compliance.
You are operating in Turkey as well. We are going to talk about your previous jobs as well. You were always in Silicon Valley. You are living there and you had other jobs as well. But first of all, with this artificial intelligence period, let's say, do you use it in your company and how does it affect it? They say that AI will replace jobs. So what do you think about it?
Yeah. So AI is definitely, I would say, like the hot technology right now. It's making people's jobs more productive, more efficient in how they do their jobs. I would say when it comes to replacing jobs, more so it's taking the entry-level jobs. So the jobs that are more remedial and you look at the same tasks that are being repeated over and over again, that's where AI comes in to help and take some of those tasks out of the way to increase productivity and efficiency. So at Sovos, for example, within different parts of our organization, we're using AI, whether it be in the sales organization to do research on their customers, to better understand different markets, to prepare presentations. We use that on more of the go-to-market side. Where you look in the engineering side, we'll use tools like Devin in engineering to help, increase our productivity on that end as well.
Actually, I was really impressed when I hear your story, life story actually, your career, your personal life and your family. How could you protect your balance of work, personal life and the family? Because you've been working for 25 years. It's a long time.
Yeah.
And you have 3 kids and a husband.
And you are so young. How did you
Exactly,
fit it
you look so
in your
young,
life?
so positive. So I'm really impressed from your energy, your mindset. So could you give us some trick actually?
So I, as a young girl, I'm first generation, my dad came to the US and worked really, really hard. And he instilled a lot of his work ethics in me. And he pushed me to say, Alice, do what you love, what you're passionate about. And even when you get married and have a family, you have to stick to what you love. And I always wanted to have a career that was very very important to me. And as I was having kids, my husband would say, okay, are you going to stay home now or are you going to keep working? And it made me feel better as a mom, as a wife, as a person. I was more fulfilled when I was able to do both. And I had my, roadblocks along the way and times where it was really tough because I wanted to be good at everything I did. I wanted to be the best mom, the best wife, the best employee. And it's hard because you can't do the best at everything at any given time. And there was a moment in my career, I was continuing to move up in my career, that I ended up in the hospital. I was sick. It was actually, we're preparing for a meeting to go meet with Mark Zuckerberg really early on when Facebook was just born. And we were very, excited about the meeting. It was kind of stressful. Our CEO was coming with us. And that night I got really sick with a high fever. I had to miss the meeting. Then I was rushed to the hospital. And that moment, it was like in the hype of Silicon Valley. That moment is when the doctor said to me, he said, you are pushing yourself too much and something is going to give and you're not going to be able to enjoy, the results of your work and enjoy your family. And that's where I said, okay, I have to take a step back and be more balanced and maybe not climb the corporate ladder as fast as I was initially and maybe just take a step back and say, okay, I'm going to be more well balanced so I can enjoy my kids and my family life. And maybe I don't have to be the mom that comes with the bakery, the baked goods and all these things where you could bring the utensils and the plates to a function. So I did that and I slowed down my career a little bit. And then when my kids got older and I had more balance with life, then I started taking off in my career. Then I started participating in Silicon Valley Women of Influence events. I was on the board of the Silicon Valley Women's Group as well. I started to take on bigger jobs and bigger board opportunities and advisory roles as my kids got older. So I wanted that balance, but at the same time, my career makes me feel fulfilled. And I think it's important as a person that you're able to also give back to yourself as well as giving back. I spent a lot of time giving to my kids and to my family and to my husband. So
you never give up. Did I understood from your story?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I'm very determined. I don't want to give up. Yeah.
Of course you see some difficulties, but you always a problem solver personality.
You find a way. You're determined, right? And now I look back and, sometimes people ask me, what is your biggest accomplishment? And I say, it's my 3 sons. That's my biggest accomplishment because they're amazing.
Wow, this is a great example.
Exactly. Great advice. Yeah. So were you in technology before?
My entire career. So when I was graduating from college back in 97, that was the tech boom was starting in Silicon Valley. And I was born and raised there, went to college there. And that's when like Oracle and Sun Microsystems were opening their campuses. The whole vision of a campus was being built, where they built all these buildings and, employees spent a lot of their time there. And so I wanted to be in tech and I wanted to be in sales. I knew I wanted to be in sales early on when I was young. I had to work when I was young for everything. If I wanted something, I had to work, save up my money to get what I wanted. But what I learned is as hard as you work, the more money you make, right? And in sales, you're in control of how much money you could make. And I had a sales job when I was in college. I was working in a bath and kitchen showroom where I helped interior design specialists design homes. And I really enjoyed it. But what I learned the most is when you build trusted relationships with people, they come back to you. So even though I was a part-time employee, I made more money than all the full-time employees because I had all these great relationships with the designers and contractors and they wanted to do business with me. And that experience is what made me realize that I want to be in sales. I like to be around people. I like to interact with people. I like to problem solve. And then I also knew that I wanted a long-term career. And as a woman, as a female in Silicon Valley, it's harder than being a man in Silicon Valley with your career. And when you're in sales, your numbers show your results. There's not a lot of discretion,
It's scalable.
It's scalable, yeah.
I think you discover your talent during the sales business. So it's important to understand yourself. Really impressive.
And what you like. And I believe if you do something that you like to do, you will be more successful because you're passionate about it. And I was passionate about it. And so I stayed in tech my entire career, but different industries. There's different paths. Some people take the path where they stay in the same industry their entire career, whether it be storage, middleware, customer experience, whatever the case may be. For me, I felt like my, sweet spot was the skills that I had and my people skills, my leadership skills, my selling skills, all the skills that I had, no matter which industry I was in, I was able to take them with me. So it didn't matter.
Afterwards, maybe you live in San Francisco. You were in the tech industry, actually, as a person.
Yeah.
So how do you see the tech future?
It continues to evolve.
AI future.
Yeah, AI. I mean, it continues to evolve. AI right now is, transforming how we work and everything that we do. And in Silicon Valley and San Francisco, that's where all the startups are born. You see there's innovation. We talked, I think yesterday, me and you, about Austin and different places that are now innovation hubs, and there's global innovation hubs. But Silicon Valley is known for the innovation hubs. So we have many AI startups that are happening now. But I will say, for all the companies that I work with today, AI is a priority for them. Bringing AI into the workforce is a priority because it will help them transform the education within their organization. So for example, we rolled out AI at Sovos, and we rolled out an enablement for AI at Sovos, and employees were so excited that they're on the forefront of technology and they were receiving that training. It's almost like now people want the badge on their LinkedIn profile that says, I'm AI trained or certified or enabled, because that will help them get their next job. It's a bigger certification than your college credentials, right now. So I do see technology continuing to evolve, and actually it's going to accelerate because AI is going to allow them to accelerate. Some of the coding that engineers have been doing in the past is going to get a lot quicker and more efficient. I see it in my son too, who started his own company, and he uses AI in his company in order to get his product out the door faster as well.
So how do you think, how different is it right now, the tech boom and the time when it was like the early 20s? What is the difference?
It's
the biggest difference?
You know what? COVID slowed things down. COVID changed a lot, I would say, in tech. A couple of fronts. People were moving so fast. It was keeping up and running around, and the travel, and it was I would say, intensity was a lot higher before COVID. I think a lot of people have taken a step back now, and the work-life balance is more important. You don't see a lot of in-office people in the office all the time. Remote work is more, valuable to people. It's not changing our innovation and how we innovate and how we work, but it's a different dynamic now where everybody was in the office. The collaboration was a lot different. You're seeing more virtual collaborative tools and innovation now than you did before. But I do think the work-life balance is a lot different than what it used to be. Also, again, I mentioned like the innovation hubs are moving now. They're not all in Silicon Valley. They're diversifying where those innovation hubs are. And I think that's good. Diversity is good.
That's really good for us, right, Çiçek?
Yes.
Actually, we are so excited about the future technology era. How do you see the women workforce, women leadership in technology?
We still have work to do. And I love all the work that you're doing because that's so inspiring. I think motivating the younger generation to be more motivated to be in technology is very, very important to us. Not only that, but letting those of us that are in technology today continue is important. I see a lot of women quit and stop because it's hard. It's hard to be sometimes the only woman on at the table. It's hard when you don't feel like you have the same respect when you're in conversations. It's hard to move up in organizations. And then also the family piece is important too. Women, when that want to have children, they're looked at a little bit differently sometimes too.
We still have lot of responsibilities in our families.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
That's the problem. But I'm here to say you can have both. You can do both, and to stay strong and determined. And I think the big thing too is women need to support each other.
Yeah, this is important.
This is very important because there's very few in the workforce in different roles. When women don't support each other, the confidence level goes down in women. And I find when I speak to women, when I mentor and coach them, confidence is the biggest differentiator. When they're knowledgeable with their content, when they feel comfortable about their content, and they show up confident, they earn the respect of everybody there, no matter who they are. And women deserve to be confident. And sometimes they don't feel that because they're intimidated. Yeah. And they should not be intimidated.
This is a global problem, Çiçek.
Exactly.
Normally we see this part, woman to woman support. We see in Turkey, it's too less. I understand this is a global problem.
Yeah.
You see the same thing in San Francisco, in US, in everywhere. So how are the woman percentage in Sovos?
We have a great percentage of women. In fact, even the executive leadership team is about 50-50%. And then cascading down. So here's what I believe. I believe when you have women in leadership positions, they naturally attract other women. They do. And that creates the diversity underneath you. And because we have a 50-50 leadership team at the top, it's cascaded down within the organization. We have a very, very well-balanced organization at Sovos.
This is so important. I'm really proud of Sovos.
Yeah. And diversity leads to, for me, it accelerates success because you have diverse thinking of different people at the table. And when you have that, it accelerates how successful you can be. If you have everybody sitting at the table thinking the same way, looking the same way, all the same, then you don't innovate, you don't accelerate. So having people that are different at the table is so important. I'm proud of Sovos too and the diversity that we have at Sovos.
Sovos is one of our precious member in Women in Technology
Yeah.
Association. Dear Elçim Sirek, she is representing in Turkey. So she works so hard to train the woman in the technology field. So I'm really thankful to
Elçim.
to
Elçim
her.
is a hard worker and she's done a really good things in Turkey with the team.
Exactly.
I would say I love coming to visit Turkey and our team here. We have about 300 employees here and the culture that Elçim has built in the office, they all help each other regardless of which part of the organization they're in. And they're truly one family, one team. You don't see that everywhere.
This is great. I think you have a great culture in company culture.
Yeah.
Which talents are important or which degrees are important when you are recruiting for your company?
We look, it depends which role it's for. You know, if it's in engineering, you know, obviously engineering roles, but we look for different talents. So we look for folks that actually have different types of experience based on where we're looking to hire and what role we're looking for. It's not necessarily like the degree, but it's also the hands-on. I believe in the experience, the actual live experience that you've had versus just the degree. There's certain colleges that do more like learning by doing. That's the kind of experience that we look for at Sovos, is people that have accomplishments.
I was asking for teenagers or for young people, what should they do for this new era?
Oh, what they're looking for. Yeah. You know what I would say for the young generation? And I say this because I had 2 kids that graduated from college looking for jobs. They have to network. It's all about who you know, the people you know, and the network that you have. I truly believe in that. You submit your resume, you're submitting with 400 other people. You have to take the time to put yourself out there, to introduce yourself to people and have conversations with people. And both of my sons, when they graduated, they got their jobs. They had internships first, and then the internships led to the full-time jobs, but they did it on their own by networking and putting themselves in different environments and groups of people. So that's what I would say to the younger generation. Start networking now. My kids, I had them do their LinkedIn profiles very early. Populate your profile, build out your brand, get your brand out there so people, and in fact, I'll share with you, my middle son, he was lucky enough to get an internship at Accenture his sophomore year of college. Usually you don't get an internship till junior year. Well, they thought he was a junior the whole time. They offered him a job the next year. So he finished college 3 years instead of 4. So 1 year early so he could take the job at Accenture. So that just shows, you know, putting yourself out there and getting the experience. Now, on the flip side, okay, I wasn't as fortunate as my kids. I had to work through college and I did not have the opportunity to do an internship. And so for my dynamics, it was a little bit different. And not everybody has that opportunity because some of us have to, you know, support ourselves. And so when you're doing that, you look at the experience that you have. But networking is a skill that everybody and anybody can have.
You are managing the most difficult part. Global, the president of revenue. It's so important and difficult. Yeah. Why you choose this division?
I know.
Or how you choose this division?
Well, I love being with people, customers, and I love problem solving. So in the role that I'm in, I interact with customers every day. I get to meet new people every day. I get to learn. I'm a sponge. I like to learn. I'm curious, and you get to be curious. And then you take problems or you take, you know, challenges that you have, and you have to come internally and work cross-functionally with different parts of the organization to solve those problems, to give them feedback, to create and innovate on how we're going to change the company dynamics. What are the next products that our customers want? So this to me is exciting because every day is different. I don't go to work ever have the same day twice. Every day is different with the challenges. Now, you're also faced with people challenges.
Challenge.
It's very stressful. You're also faced
of
with
course,
people
you're still
challenges.
Smiling.
Yeah. The people part of the aspect of it is difficult too because you have multiple personalities. Everyone's different. And as a leader in this position, you have to learn how to accommodate the different personalities and the different people because you can't treat everybody exactly the same because some people have different, for example, I have Latin America, I have Europe, and I have the US. When you have a call with somebody in Latin America, you can't just get on the call and start talking business. They, in Latin America, they lead with love. You have to get on the call. How are you? How was your day? How's your weekend? Everything. The first 5 minutes has to be personal and warming them up before you have a business conversation. So you have to learn the dynamics of different personalities, different cultures, different people, which I love.
I was wondering, this is not about your career, but your personal life. As you are living in Silicon Valley, you have this autonomous cars,
autonomous cars, yeah.
autonomous riding cars, or some robots that are on the streets and serving food and stuff like that.
Yes.
Which one is your favorite?
Well, I haven't ridden in the autonomous cars yet. My family has. I'm kind of worried. I mean, I think that's a great technology to have because now you actually don't need people to take you anywhere. I have not rode in one, but I think that is the coolest technology. There is in downtown Mountain View, there's the robots that bring you food and your groceries. So basically they come to your house in a robot and they just deliver your grocery. I mean, I love the fact that today there's the shared economy. So you have Instacart, you have the delivery services. I don't know which ones you guys have here. You have Uber, which is like the ride sharing services, Airbnb. This is the innovation that we, love also in Silicon Valley. But from the autonomous, piece of it, I would say the cars, like it's scary, but it is great technology. And now they're moving into trucks too, where, you no longer will need a person to transport a big truck with goods and services anymore. You could transport it virtually through Uber. Actually is going to have it has a service like that.
This removes people, so this removes relationships. This suits you a little bit with your, I will say, comfort zone, but the things that you love is to be in a relationship or to connect with people. But this will fade away a little bit. Are you scared about this?
I am a little worried about that, and I'm worried about the next generation, because the next generation, if you think about it, I was growing up, we didn't have phones. We had pagers, but we didn't have phones when I was growing up. We didn't have iPads and computers and all of this when I was growing up. So guess what? We played outside. We rode a bike. We talked to each other. We played card games. Yeah. So today, everyone's on the phone. You look everywhere and everybody's just on their phone. It's the relationship is between the person and the phone.
We used to touch each other, talk each other. We used to do like this before. But now, the new generation, I don't know. Maybe this is the best way for the new generation. We don't understand.
And I think they don't know any different. So I will share with you a story. My youngest son decided he is the one that started his company, and he's an engineer, very driven coding.
How old is he?
He's 21. He decided he didn't want the iPhone anymore because it was too distracting. With all of the apps and the social media and everything, it was too distracting. So he did an experiment. It drove me crazy because I couldn't track him anymore. Because on the iPhone, I could track him, and when he was in college. And so he got a flip phone for $19.99. He went to the store, the flip phone. Remember the flip phone?
The old ones.
The old ones.
The old one.
So he put his iPhone in.
Not the smart one.
No.
The black and white.
Black and white, the flip phone. And so he put the expensive iPhone in the drawer, took the flip phone, and for I think 4 or 5 months, he used the flip phone. It drove us all crazy.
Is he okay?
He was happier because he wasn't distracted by social media. He got focused on the conversation. He was focused on his business, but everybody around him was upset about it because his friends couldn't get a hold of him the right way. He couldn't text. He couldn't send pictures. He couldn't see pictures, like all of the things that we all do. And for me, he knew that I was very stressed because I could not track him. He knew it was really important to me. So when he came home for Christmas,
this is difficult for you.
Yeah, he came home for Christmas. He bought me as one of my Christmas presents put an air tag on his flip phone, and so in his wallet. I could track him again.
He still resists to use that phone.
He's back on the iPhone now, but that period of time, it was interesting experiment for him to do. But personally, he got more done. Personally, he was fulfilled with his life, his conversations he was having with people. Everybody around him was having a hard time because they couldn't interact with him the way they were used to interacting with him.
Exactly.
So it was interesting.
Don't you feel the need for doing a digital detox?
Yeah.
And do you give time for that?
I do. I have gotten a lot better because during the day, I am on the phones all day. I'm on my computer all day. I need to decompress for a couple of hours after my day. I put my phone down. I put all technology down. I go for a walk. My walk is the best way to, take an hour walk, go to yoga class. Maybe not a conversation, but just sit and read or do nothing on technology makes me feel good. But I'll tell you, it's hard. It's stressful because people know they can get a hold of you at instant, anytime. And I feel like I have to respond right away. And so taking the time and say, you know what? No, this is my time, and they're going to respect my time, and I don't have to respond right away. It's okay if I take the next 2 hours for myself, and then I'll take the time to respond back because my response is going to be better. It's going to be well thought out. I'm going to be relaxed. So sometimes taking that step back is better for us.
We are not doing this. We are always trying to answer the emails,
right away,
answer the messages. WhatsApp is full. Yeah. It's so distractive. Yeah. I don't feel well myself. I push myself to answer everything.
So what made me take the step back is you have to think about how the person that you're responding to is going to feel about your rushed response. If you do a response because you are just trying to get it out so fast, maybe they read it the wrong way. Maybe it wasn't complete. Maybe how do you make them feel? To me, Maya Angelou too. She has this quote that says like how you make someone feel is the most important thing. I try to think about that all the time in everything that I do. How are my actions going to make people feel? Because how you make people feel, they'll never forget how you make them feel.
Do you have a role model?
My dad was my role model. He was amazing. All the accomplishments that he had, the way he raised us and his interactions with us, he was my role model. He was amazing. He's no longer with us, unfortunately, but he was my role model. And I think about him in almost every decision I make.
Your father's legacy still exists. I can see when you talk about your boys, your kids. Yeah.
Thank you.
So what do you see for the next 10 years? How technology will be different, or how the life will be different with technology? What do you foresee?
I think technology is going to give us more balance. I really do, because I think it's going to enable us to have more time to take care of ourselves and free up our time to actually be more mindful. It's going to help us. So I know that AI helps me cut my time in the tasks that I need to do every day. It helps cut that time for me, which allows me actually to do more reading, to be more mindful in my responses, to have more time to be in front of people. So I think technology, as we see it continue, I think better for us and enable us
Do you
to be
trust AI? Do you trust?
Oh, that's a great
100%.
question. That's a great question. So whatever you put out there is out there. So at Sovos, the AI tools that we use is in our instance. So we buy the enterprise version of it so that whatever we put into that, because AI you have to put into it in order to get it to work, right? And so whatever we put in there is protected. We go on ChatGPT, me and you, and I go in there and I put my test results of a blood test or something, or I go look up anything that I look up, it's out there. So you have to just be mindful of it. So the trust aspect of it, that's a sensitive topic, I think, at a personal level. At a company level, I feel comfortable because we're protecting ourselves security-wise at a company level. But you do have to be mindful when you're using AI tools at a personal level.
I agree.
Thank you for your lovely advices and for this time that you have given to us. It was lovely to talk to you and to get to know you and to get to know your company.
Thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed the conversation. I enjoyed getting to know you both. I hope you can come and visit me too in the United States, whether it be New York or San Francisco. And I look forward to continuing the conversation with you.
Of course, we love to, Alice. I'm so happy to have you here because our viewers, our followers, I think they see a real role model woman. Thank you.
Thank you. And if I can give one just piece of advice is be confident to all the women out there. You're who you are and you can do it. And if you are passionate about something, go after it. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Bugünkü bu keyifli sohbetimizin sonuna geldik. Ama bu arada küresel ölçekte yerli kripto varlık platformu Binance TR'ye bize destek ve sponsor olduğu için çok teşekkür ediyoruz. Bir sonraki bölümde görüşünceye dek kendinize çok iyi bakın. Hoşça kalın.
Hoşça kalın.